You get sick because you don't eat right, because you're overweight, and nobody tells you because we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings because we live in a world now where if you hurt somebody's feelings, you might get arrested. It's ridiculous. Idiotic. If you know you're not supposed to have certain things because you have diabetes, don't eat it. Oh, but it tastes so good. Okay. Tell that to your children and your grandchildren who won't see you because you decided to eat. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio in Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Feels like I haven't been here in like a week, and I was here yesterday. 833-212-1017 is the number. I got so much to talk about that I don't know what to talk about. And so I came across a story because, I don't lie. Well, sometimes I don't. My go-to news place, right? When I'm in a crunch, when I'm trying to get some information, is CBS 58. I just go. All I got to do is type CB, and then it shows up in my browser, and I just type it. Because I'm lazy. And I look up, and I see the story from Sunday that was updated today. 10:35 this morning. $2,000 reward offered for arrest of Racine homicide suspect. Crime Stoppers has offered $2,000 for information leading to the whereabouts and arrest of 41-year-old Terry L. Jackson, the suspect in the homicide of 30-year-old Brittany Booker in Racine, Wisconsin. And so I thought, well, let me look around. I looked around and top stories. And I'm looking to see if it made it nationally, like Channel 5, Fox 32 in Chicago, CBS 58 did the story. So I start scrolling through, and that's it. So I thought, okay. All right. $2,000 reward from Crime Stoppers. I'm like, how often does that happen? That we pay money because someone died, someone was killed, and we pay money as a reward to find them. So I thought, you know what? I remember the last time this made it big, right? So can you count Illinois and southern and southeastern Wisconsin as regional? Some say yes, some say no. I'll say sure. $2,000. 30-year-old woman, either she had 6 kids or there were 6 kids, and she's got 6 kids. Took a Christmas picture. And this young lady was killed. And there's a suspect they're looking for, Terry L. Jackson. But then I thought, so I started asking around, hey, you remember like Gabby Petito? First of all, why did we even care that Gabby Petito was even missing? And then I remembered, white girl syndrome. Pretty white girl with blue eyes and blonde hair was missing. Hey, we got to find her. And we started hearing about all this information out of Northport, Florida. And they were all the way in Wyoming, and reporters are being sent, and they're following this story. It becomes a national story about a boy-girl trouble where he ends up killing her. They follow it. They track him down. And I thought to myself, how much is her life worth? Because, I was looking at Well, and that's when I got depressed. Because as I started looking at it, I started to realize that this woman, who was a victim of a homicide in Racine, Brittany Booker, her life was worth a $2,000 reward. But then when I looked at when I looked at Gabby Petito, whose body they found in Wyoming, and then they moved heaven and earth and FBI and Marshal Service and all these places in every single police department between here and there. Looking for who? Brian Laundrie. How much? Reward is $30,000 for information. And I thought, wow, that seems a little bit disparate, right? And so we always talk about disparities between blacks and whites and between the races as it relates to healthcare and treatment and police and the media, income, education. But then when it comes to the value of life, the price of life, there's a $28,000 discrepancy. Now, God forbid, had the person that killed Gabby Petito been a black male, I'm pretty sure that reward would be around $300,000. Now, am I speculating? Yes, I am. I admit it wholeheartedly. There is absolutely no truth to that because I don't know. But when we start looking at discrepancies and saying that there's no disparities or any of those things, let's look at the price of life. What's the price of a victim's life when we try to find them and now 6 kids won't have their mother? Gabby Petito didn't even have any children. But somehow, CNN, Fox, everybody, every national news outlet, newspapers ran the story ad nauseum. Now, I'm not saying her life is any more important or less important than Ms. Booker. What I'm saying is if you need an example of why there are inequities in this world, it starts with the people who are in charge. And so when we talk about having Black people be in newsrooms, Black people and Hispanic people making decisions on what stories should run and should not, this is the problem. Right here. Glaring example. $2,000 for a life. But I guess it'll always be that way because between you and me, there'll always be a discrepancy between the races. It's discouraging. But at some point, we have to recognize that other people won't do it for us. We have to do everything for ourselves. It's your life, your job, your home, your car, whatever it is, whatever material thing, whatever emotional thing is, it's yours. We just have to remember that when we remove race, it only comes down to one thing. When you're in that moment, when you're coming for yours, never ask,